Alright, so greetings from Greer, South Carolina. We're at the Swift Transportation Terminal. It's obviously getting pretty dark, so pardon the the dark aura of the video. But yeah, we pretty much had a big long day of nothing. We actually had to get what's called a B service. Every 40,000 miles, a truck has to, get the full-on oil change, all the tires inspected, and all that good stuff, and all the lubricants and all the checkpoints and all that. So we got that done. It literally took us about 11-12 hours of waiting. Sometimes it can take a few days, I'm told, but this isn't a brand new truck. Pretty much just hit 40,000 miles, and they're due every 40,000 miles, so at least we got it taken care of. So as far as where we're at with the trip, I'm kind of done counting my deliveries like I kind of did with training. But last time I did a video, we were in between our second trip in Texas. We finally got that taken to El Paso, and then from El Paso we went up to Rockford, Illinois. No problems really with that trip. We did, however, once we got to Rockford, we were supposed to pick up an empty trailer and then make it down to Morris, Illinois, and then cut over from Morris, Illinois to Bloomfield, Michigan, which is about a half hour or so above Detroit. So between the fact that we had the two stops in Illinois, I was pretty much calculating like, all right, we got to be there at 10 o'clock p.m., 2000 hours, and then it was about a 5-hour trip. So I figured, I'd give ourselves about a 7-hour window to get there with traffic, near Detroit, maybe around the Chicago area. We'd pretty much make it on time. And so after my teammate Iman finished driving, he's like, all right, you gonna drive? And I was like, yeah. And I ended up not even getting up because it was either we wait here for 5 hours or we wait at the delivery for 5 hours because we were early. So I ended up sleeping in, finally got up in time. One thing I started realizing once I started driving is I forgot to factor in that we were in Central Time and the delivery was in Eastern Time. So boom, my 7-hour gap just became 6. All right, we can deal with it. We keep running. We get there pretty much right at 10 o'clock. And as we're pretty much pulling up, I kind of checked the Qualcomm. I don't know how it happened, but it wasn't just me. It was Iman as well. 2000 hours is not 10 p.m. It's 8 p.m. So there you go, another late delivery. It was no big deal. It was at Costco. They pretty much told us, you're gonna have to wait till 4 a.m. So we parked the truck in the back, and pretty much 3:30 I woke up. We were lucky enough to be able to do a drop and hook. It would have been a live unload, but they had another Swift trailer. They had 4 docks, a dry van, a reefer, refrigerator unit, both Swift, and then we pulled in and were able to pick up the dry van and get on our way. So it was no big deal, but I did finally talk to my driver leader today, and she said we're pretty much all good. We've had no service failures between the fact that we were late, 3 hours late here, we're another couple hours late there. So far, I guess no one's complained. So I don't know if we just sweet talked the shipping receiving person, let them know we're new and all that stuff, but either way, it all worked out. So we did hit a little bit of a pocket of stress when we were in Illinois. I don't necessarily even remember what it was. We were just trying to do a trip plan, and then, we ended up taking a shower and refreshed ourselves and kind of hit a pocket of stress, and we finally figured it all out and were able to make it up to that Rockford, Illinois trip and got it all taken care of. So that was all good and fine, but one thing that did happen was between those two trips, we hear not a loud bang, but we heard a noise, and it wasn't like a Doppler effect bang or we passed something. Like, it was on us, and Iman's like, should we pull over? And I was like, yeah, we should pull over. So I go around one side, he goes around the other. He's like, I found it. It was pretty much a silver dollar sized hole on the inner sidewall of the front tandem axle on the trailer. So luckily we had pulled off in a safe area at the same exit of a truck stop, so we kind of hung out for about an hour. The guy came, took about 45 minutes to an hour to get that all fixed, and it was all good and fine. And then right when we get back on the road, we saw a pretty epic sunset, so it was kind of cool. Not a big deal. Some sets come and they go, but it was a really nice one. So it was kind of a shining light, you know, of the whole busted tire and all that stuff. So it was all worth it. All good and fine. So anyway, so then after we dropped that off in Bloomfield, Michigan, we were supposed to pull an empty down to, what was it? Warren, Michigan. I got all this stuff written down. So we were supposed to pick up some steel coil. So we get down there. We were supposed to be there at 6 a.m. We were there at 6. They weren't ready for us until about 8. So we pretty much had to, well, we missed the turn, so we had to go all the way around the block and went the wrong way and had to freaking cut it back and turn around. And it was all good. We got it all fine. And then Ivan pretty much started taking over. I stayed awake until I saw the Detroit skyline because I really enjoy seeing the city skyline. So check, got Detroit, go Tigers. But anyway, so I took over in about Virginia. No, West Virginia. So I hit Virginia, hit a couple really cool tunnels through some mountains, which was pretty epic. And then North Carolina, South Carolina. I was supposed to cut over a little early before Charlotte, like kind of bypass, but we were early and I said screw it. So I drove a little further and I was about 4 miles out and didn't see too much of the city, but I saw a few of the buildings, pretty big buildings. There's one really crazy pink and blue lighting at the top, and no big deal. But again, Charlotte, check, you know. On my Facebook, I've actually been doing virtual postcards every time I see a skyline. It only counts, in my opinion, if I see the skyline. But so far, I have like 40 major cities. We did get to go through Roswell as well, which is kind of cool. But anyway, so we get our delivery taken in today. We get told, well, first of all, on that way down from Detroit, we were supposed to get our B service done, like we did today. But our real driver manager said, yeah, get to the South Carolina load. The terminal's 5 miles from the drop-off. Get in there. It'll take you a day. All good. Someone else on the Qualcomm gets on and says, oh, you can also go to the Columbus, Ohio terminal to get it taken care of. So Iman said it was like 150 miles out of the way. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but we get there, it's a 2-day wait. So we get on the Qualcomm, we're like, yeah, it's 2 days, we're loaded, we got to get out of here. And turns out Terry, our driver manager, is pissed because of this, because she didn't authorize us to go to Columbus. Someone else got on, and who knows what they're thinking or what they were told or what they're trying to do. But once we finally talked to Terry, she's like, all right, I got to go yell at someone. And then we finally get here and say, hey, we're getting our B service. And she writes back, she's like, what are you guys talking about? I thought you did in Ohio. And we're just like, what is going on communication-wise? It's been a little bit tough. I mean, you know, with all the people behind the scenes and all that good stuff, making sure things get done, it's not always easy. And again, Swift is a big company. They're also a starter company. So to a lot of elements, it's not just new drivers, it's probably new, you know, office personnel and all that stuff. So it's just kind of one of those things you got to go with the flow. So other than that, the truck Sharmuta is good to go. We do not have a load assignment yet. We put in our PTA, which is our projected time of availability, for about 15 minutes ago. We haven't heard anything yet, so I figured I'd make this video. I wanted to make it with a little more light. I actually had started this video this morning, and then right halfway through, the mechanic came out to take the truck, and I was like, all right, I'll have to redo that. But hell, I mean, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deliveries so far, and we already got paid for 3 of them, and we're not complaining as far as our first paycheck. And that was only for 3.5 days, so we look forward to a full week's worth. You know, we're pretty much balancing our hours so we don't run out of hours. Again, you can only get 70 hours in an 8-day period, so you got to kind of work it out where you don't hit the max, because then you have to take a 34-hour break. But it kind of rolls over. I've mentioned it before, where the first day hours gets added to the 9th day, the second day to the 10th day. So you kind of got to keep it streamlined to make sure you're always rolling, especially if you're a team. They do not like teams to have to take 34s, because we're the ones they turn to for the cross-country hauls and all that stuff. So, but anyway, I think I pretty much touched on all of it. You know, getting in here, I have an idea of what to talk about, and then I lose the whole idea, and then it's lost. But anyway, so I think we're good. Not sure where we're going next, but again, sorry the video is so dark. I'll talk to you next time.